What's up, everybody? We're back. And for this episode, we have our dear friend who's a returning guest, John Kai. We had him on a year ago or whenever that was, and we got into The Body as the Shadow. It's another great episode to check out if you get a chance. Like, I felt like it's like a cult classic with some of our audience. But yeah, we got him back on, and we really didn't have an agenda on what we wanted to talk about. We just started chatting, and John's really into human design. And for those of you that do know human design, he's got all nine centers defined. He's the second person ever I've met that has all nine centers defined. He's really into gene keys. So, like, we're just weaving in human design, gene keys in this conversation, talking about life, talking about, personal development, just a whole bunch of conversations that we get into. And I think the best part about it is we laugh, we have fun, we're not taking ourselves too seriously. So, like, once you get in 20, 30 minutes into the episode, we're just shooting the shit, we're joking. If you're cool with things not being super politically correct, you're going to love this episode. And for those of you that listen usually to the episode, you can listen to it, but I feel like this is a great one to watch because I think you'll laugh. You'll see us cracking up on camera. And yeah, it's just another reminder with this episode, like how complex we can be as human beings and how many parts we have to us and how we can, engage in different situations, different parts come out depending on who we're with as well. Like, it's just fun, and a reminder to just not take life so seriously. That's what I loved about this episode. So yeah, let us know what you think. Yeah, it was a fun conversation for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Right before we dive into the episode, I just want to let people know that pre-registration for round 10 of our group coaching program, Rise Above the Herd, is now open. So the round 10 dates are going to be from July 29th to October 8th. Doors open to the public on July 3rd, and we're only intaking a maximum of 15 individuals into this round. So by pre-registering, you'll be first invited to claim one of those 15 spots before we officially open to the public. And also you'll unlock other early bird benefits, including getting to start your journey a little bit earlier with a creators circle call with Erasmus and I, where we can get the chance to connect with you and get to know you. So you can do so by heading to riseabovetheherd.co or clicking the link in the show notes. This is a new and enhanced version of Rise Above the Herd. There's added modules. There's 2 extra integration sessions. There's now 5 nervous system workshops. And this is really becoming something that's super holistic and just keeps getting better. So guys, without any further ado, here's John Kai, and please enjoy this episode.
You are now listening to the Here for the Truth podcast, hosted by Joel Rafidi and Yerasimos.
John Kai has returned to Here for the Truth. His specialties include characterology, body psychotherapy, intuitive listening, relationships. His knowledge reaches from transhumanism to psychodynamics, to attachment theory, to gene keys, to the occult. Our first episode together was a classic. John, welcome back, man.
It's great to be here. That intro wasn't girthy enough. I need something girthier. The intellectual girth felt a little bit small. I don't know what I needed instead, but
Yeah.
Just tell us, man. Just tell us what needed to be added to that. How incredible, amazing, and handsome,
Was it
brilliant.
my delivery or?
no, I think it's more about my spiritual vanity, and I just want it to be fluffed a little bit more. Like, just fluff me a bit more. Like, tell me that I'm responsible for everybody else's healing. Tell me that I'm the reason that they're having all their breakthroughs. That's what
Yeah.
I want. I want to tell me that.
Listen, man, I think my life just changed in such a positive way after spending 90 minutes with you on the podcast, man. Like, my wife started loving me again. My mom started loving me. I mean, all these people that like hated me started loving me just after spending 90 minutes with you, whenever that was, like a year ago, year and a half ago. So I can only imagine what's going to happen after this conversation.
A giant Here for the Truth orgy, just all at once. Be great.
Amazing.
The best thing
So
ever.
how are you, man? What's going on for you? Like, how's life? How are you feeling?
Oh, how am I feeling? Where do we go with that one? I'm going through a transition right now. Not
Whoa.
getting a pronoun, but my AI has a pronoun. But I think just where we're going in this new epoch something's shifting, and I don't know. It feels like there's a real death and a discovery of what's coming up on the other side. And like I really enjoyed listening to David Whitehead's podcast, last one, and Bernard's last one. And so much stuff dropped in and links for me around how it ties in with the trauma work that I do and my life in general, and how I'm revisiting my relationship with like the Christianity in church and where that came from and how that's influenced my life. And then with Bernard, just the population, and for me personally, I've been swept up in cycles of like mania and having a disconnect from what's really going on in the mainstream, and being able to come into myself and be like, what do I want? Like, why don't I just stay in my lane instead of trying to jump into all these other things? So,
Dude.
I guess what's alive for me right now is like it's a restraint, like pulling back, like Gene Key 52 is like pulling back, restraint. What do I need to?
Yeah. That's what I'm feeling, man. And Joel and I have talked about this, but like I'm really feeling that. And I'm noticing that with some peers and colleagues as well, like this pulling back, that like it's not that I'm like sticking my head in the sand, like la la, I don't care what's going on in the world and whatever, my life, me. But on some level, it is like I have the bandwidth for certain things, and for other things, I don't. And parts of me don't really care and want to give energy to that. Like, there's 24 hours in the day. Like, I have a life. We're creating a business. Like, I have fruit trees to plant. I have my wife. Like, I'm trying. Like, there's so much stuff and people and things out there that just don't matter. It's like even thinking about like the undefined head. Like the conditioning of thinking about things that don't matter. And I just feel like there's so much energy given to things that don't really matter in the day-to-day for most people.
Yeah, totally agree. And when I listened to your last two podcasts, especially the David Whitehead one, there was so many paragraphs of just mic drops.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I was like, I just wanted more silence after the mic. I had a pause after the mic drops and be like, I need to let that land in my body. Like, there's so much wisdom right here, right now, that I don't need to listen to anything else. And doubly back to what you were saying there, Erasmus, about being in your own lane and not caring. I think it's about what the seeds that you want to nurture. And you mentioned it in Bernard's podcast, where listening to your strategy and your authority. It's like once you listen to your strategy and authority, other stuff just doesn't matter anymore. It's like, well, do I need to listen to this? Yes or no? The generator. Is this for me? Am I in a wave right now? Oh, I need to wait for this motherfucking wave to finish, right? But life gets so simple once you start listening to that strategy and authority. And then with Joel, like tarot and divination, like when I get stuck, and I'm like, oh, okay, what are the cards going to tell me? I don't use tarot, but I use another deck. What are the cards telling me? Like, I don't know what I need to do. Like, give me some divine guidance or clarity. And like, I've actually tossed out a whole bunch of oracle decks. I just had too many. I'm like, I only need two. Two decks are fine for me. I had like 6. I don't need the shamanic oracle deck and the Wazzy Wooju other deck. And just dial it right back. It's like simplify. I think Gene Key 23. Simplify. Let's come all the way back. Like it's the life is in the simplification. Like that planting seeds, Erasmus. Like, how beautiful is that? I've got a little raised garden bed out back I just put up. Like get some rocket in there, 2 different types of rocket, just like.
I love it, man. I love it. And again, in this world, this technological world that's only kind of feeling like it's like on steroids, it's like those moments outside, in a sense, I don't want to say you're forced to, but like you are forced to, but you're choosing to. Like, I'm not on my device. I'm not touching my phone. I'm listening to like birds chirping and insects doing their thing and getting my hands dirty and like feeling my body. And even like too, like I'm out there and I'm doing work. I'm picking up things. I'm like, oh man, like my body doesn't feel like it did, 20 years ago. And so that's a reminder. But it feels good too. Like today and yesterday, I woke up so sore. I was out like pulling weeds. Yesterday, I climbed up on the roof and pulling shit out of the gutter, like leaves out of the gutter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but again, there's something practical about that I really like too.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's just a different slowing down and just coming back to things that, like, it's not like, oh, so deep and so I gotta do, which, I think is important. But where do you find that balance?
Exactly. And I think everybody's an individual. And when you honor your body, like your body knows, bro. Like your body knows. Like getting up on the roof and like it might be hard and you feel like all stretchy, you feel areas of your body that you didn't know you had. And then, but when you get come off that roof and you have a rest and you like reflect back on all the work that you've done, it's like, damn,
Uh,
that felt great. Like in something
Satisfied. I feel satisfied, as a generator. Like there's such satisfaction in those things.
And I think when you touch on the generator there and satisfaction, like when like you think of the world, like 70% ish of the world's a generator. And if they're not doing work that's satisfying, and then they wonder why like they can't sleep, they wonder why they need to like take like sleeping pills or something else to try and force themselves to sleep. It's because you don't enjoy what you're doing. It's like if you actually enjoyed what you're doing, including your job, like I'm going on a tangent here. Here we go. Label it hashtag rant. Like when you look at some of the like the cabal or whatever it is that you want to call it, like all these people, like whether it's Steve, what's that, Gates and Schwab and whoever else is behind the scenes puppeteering. It's like these people are just people, and if you don't enjoy your life and you're just being blindly obedient, then of course these sinister things and sinister plans are going to come into play. But if you actually listen to yourself and listen to your own body's wisdom, you're not going to be obedient to that stuff. Same goes for the military. Same goes for any organization, right? But what am I going to join the military for? I'm going to serve my country. Okay. Do you even know your country? Like, and just being honest with, no, I just wanted to get a paycheck. I didn't have to, I wasn't smart enough to get a job anywhere else. Military was accepting, so I went, right? And it goes with a lot of stuff where you just take the job and then it's just my job. I'm just doing my job, right? And this cycle within humanity where we blame things outside of ourselves, but don't realize that that fragment that we are doing, like the job that we are doing that's in the shadow, is just part of the collective unconscious. So you're all contributing at some level to where we're all going. And then when you ground into what do I want to do right now that fills me full of joy and love and passion and really feels like I'm on purpose, and it's going into the fucking garden, getting some worms out, finding out which heirloom seeds you're going to plant because you want to have some broccoli in 6 months' time or whatever it is. And it's like, nah, this is life. Right? This is life. Like, and the book from Jung, The Earth Has a Soul, really speaks to this, right? Is a real, no, we're all part of the one unit. And it's not in a non-dual sense where you don't even have your own opinion. I love you spoke about the sidetrack again, about ego with Bernard as well, like the importance of ego. And there's a quote that springs to mind there is in order to give up the ego, you've actually got to have one worth giving up, which means you've got to go create one. So go be an egotistical asshole, whatever it is that you want to be, and then be willing to kill it at some point, What's going on for you, Joel? I want to hear your beautiful, or rap it to me. Rap it in my ear, bro. Rap it in my ear.
Yeah, man. Definitely. Like, I agree with you. Something shifted recently. I mean, the first half of the year, we're still in the first half, but, first 4.5, 5 months. Yeah, definitely like a confusing period. I found it felt as though we're all kind of, lost in the woods a little bit. But it's interesting, man. The last month or so, lots of clarity is coming through. I feel like there's a big shedding that's taken place and a deeper realization of purpose, through that kind of shedding. And I think a lot of it has to do with intention. I found myself a lot clearer in terms of my intention, and also a recalibration to like, what I actually want, what I actually want to build, what I feel lit up about, what I actually value, and even just a general greater feeling of like spiritual support, you know, like a deeper level of worthiness is something that I've definitely encountered recently as well. And I always like, I find, you know, I think it was Carl Rogers said, you know, what's most personal is most universal. So whenever like I contemplate these things within myself, like I kind of get the vibe that, you know, the collective is experiencing that on some level as well. And yeah, bro, I mean, doorways are opening, you know, I feel like opportunities are arising. I feel like people more than ever, like they need to like step into the unknown, man. You know, I feel like the critical thing between, you know, someone being fulfilled, being satisfied, you know, leading that authentic path, it's just breaking through that fucking insidious scarcity consciousness, which has been so deeply programmed into all of us in various ways. And that more than anything, man, is like where we don't take the risks, where we don't bring in variety, where we don't welcome the spice. And despite the fear, despite the uncertainty, despite the discomfort, in any ways which you can build tolerance to hold more space for uncertainty and even for scarcity, I feel like that's where the real fruit of life ultimately comes. Yeah. And, you know, that's the edge that I've been riding for a while now, and I continue to ride it. And yeah, man, if you want a Joel update, that's my 2 cents for now.
All right, let me give you the real Joel update.
Go.
Hit me. The behind the scenes.
No, man, I love this dude. I'm so grateful to call him not only a friend, but my business partner. The guy's a powerhouse. He's a creative machine. I love him. I'm so grateful to go on this ride with him, and I'm just excited for how things are going to unfold. So
thanks, bro. Yeah, man. Pumped to come to. I'm coming to LA again in 2 weeks, John. I'm gonna hang out with your ass once.
Right. This
for a
is
little bit.
That festival?
Yeah, gonna go to Music and Sky coming up. It's actually been a year. Like I was there for your birthday last year as well. It's been a year on the dot.
yeah, it's gonna be fun. He's coming to Topanga. We're gonna hang out, celebrate, and then we're all driving up to Mendocino for Music and Sky. So Joel's gonna be performing new music there. We're gonna be on stage doing our thing. I just can't wait. It's my favorite event. You know, this is the 5th time Sophie and I are involved in it, and it's just cool. It was a great place. People coming together.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, it's been actually like the start of this May. I was gonna say the start of this year, but in May, Cassie, Luca, and I went to our first dance festival together up north in Queensland.
Oh, cool.
Great, you know, like a little like 1-year-old, like in his own little headphones, Bilfin, like dancing, looking at everybody else, and people looking at him and wanting to dance with him, and just allowing this 1-year-old to experience life.
Yeah.
And when I look back at it, I'm like, wow, we did that, you know. Before he was 1, we actually took him to Bali, and just giving him a different experience of life, and knowing that as a parental unit, that we can work together to get to a vision and where you want to go. And I think like most of my work, I want to be able to give that to people, where it's let's start creating the next generation. Like what didn't work in my family system, and how can I not just create the opposite out of some immature rebellion, but what's really aligned with me?
Mm-hmm.
Because at some point I didn't want to have kids. Like I didn't want to be married, right? And then I've gone through this whole cycle. My personality pattern changed. Like everything's changed because of the deeper work, the sincere work. And going from not wanting to have kids to wanting to have kids, and not wanting to be a husband to being a husband, is really shifted me and my family system as well. And Joel, I'd love to touch on stepping into the unknown that you mentioned before. And I made so many notes when I was listening to Whitehead's podcast about the leaving pattern, and how the schizoid, and Tessarian speaks to this as well, the schizogenic and the schizoid, how that's terror. And when someone isn't willing to be with the terror of the unknown, they try and find whys Give me a why. Why do I need to do this? Why? Why? And then you instead of just being with the discomfort of the unknown, the trauma pattern wants to try and grab onto something, and it'll grab onto any kind of conspiracy theory or anything, truth, to give them the false sense of I'm okay. I'm okay. But if you can be in community that can take you through terror, or a facilitator that can take you through terror, you never need to ask that why again, unless you need to ask that why because your strategy and authority tells you to, right? Like for me, the pathway and the runway for the future is so simple. And it can start with something that's from human design, which is free. It just requires the discipline to listen to your strategy and authority, right? And then if you want to go deeper, then I'd definitely recommend like the 5 personality patterns from Stephen Kessler. Like this book, bro. If you haven't read this, have you guys bought this book yet?
No.
That's been on my bookshelf for years.
Buy the goddamn
Like
read
maybe over a decade.
motherfucker, dude. This is
Yeah.
this.
Well, I order books. Like I see something on like a thing, I just order them. You know, I read some of them I don't.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Like I'm actually looking at my bookshelf over here, and I'm like, I'm gonna learn all these by osmosis just by having them in my field. I was like, no, John, you actually need to read the damn thing. But dude, like this book, it's such a simplified version of Reich's five character types, the characterology types. And when I read it, I'm like, this guy's a genius. Because when I'm thinking of like the how I was mentored through all this stuff, like, this is so complicated. There's so much like it's at an analytical level and like a psychotherapeutic, like a psychoanalyst level. It's quite high, but this is so simple. Like I give this to my clients when I start working with them because I need them to work with it as a book. And I know if there's straight away their endurer comes up or the part of them that doesn't want to be obedient to me because they won't read the book. It's like read the chapter on the merging type. This is the injury that's showing up for you right now is the merging type, for example. And they'll read it and they'll be like, oh my God, John, this has been my entire life. It's like, yeah, right? Do you want to heal that? Yes or no? Yeah, I do. Great. Fantastic. What would it be like for you if you had your own sense of self? Oh, John, I don't even know what that would be like. Great. Do you want to discover it? Good. Great. Let's go discover it. Right. I mean, and even the psychopath, like the aggressive type, like the people that they're most afraid of, like Orange Man, right? He's the aggressive type in the book, right? People are terrified of him because he's slightly more embodied than you are, right? He has an energy that can dominate other people, and people are scared of being dominated because they're terrorized. The leaving pattern is terrorized with someone who can dominate them because they take away their knowing. What my future's uncertain because he's going to change my future. He's just a man. What? How is he going to change your life? Like really, really. He's going to take my pronouns away. Maybe. Is it life and death if you don't have some acronym before your name? Like have the reality check, right? Actually have the reality check. Are you in danger? Like yes or no? And if you don't know your strategy or authority, and if you're disconnected from nature, like if you're disconnected from the rhythms of nature, you're always going to be afraid, right?
I think that people who feel as though their life is most impacted and affected and influenced by external, stuff have the least of a life to begin with.
Ooh. Yeah, man. Yeah, and I think like denial, dude, like Gene Keys, like denial is a huge theme in the Gene Keys. What are you denying about your life?
Mm.
And like I'm in a community on Facebook as well called single income, like no kids, and dual income, no kids. And they brag about not having kids, but then they brag about other things as well. Like, oh God, I spent 30 grand on a tattoo set or something, or I'm getting because I don't have kids, I'm spending 40 grand on liposuction and a facelift. I'm like, okay, all right, sure. But how honest can you really be that you're dissatisfied with your life, or you're dissatisfied with your relationship, or your existential anxiety is now just being subdued by all the instant shopping that you can get or the instant responses that you can get from AI. Like, how honest can you be with yourself? Gene Key 59, right? Like the shadow of dishonesty and the dilemma of trauma. And trauma creates dishonesty. So the more you move through your trauma, the more you can just be honest with life. And it also changes your relationship with death. Once you can move through your trauma, like there's been moments where, like I was doing Tai Chi with Dave, you know, my father-in-law, that Dave Wallis.
Yeah.
And
interesting story. I was doing Tai Chi
yeah.
I was doing Tai Chi with his father-in-law. I think before you even met Cassie, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. And that's how I think I met you. I think Dave tells me the story of how he met you.
Right.
I was doing Tai Chi on the beach and there was this guy, he was just looking at me. And then he came over. Watching Dave watching Tai Chi is really nice. And it's a really grounding technology for me. Like, it's slow. It connects me back in with nature. You can also do freestyle, which I really enjoy as well, like freestyle Tai Chi. But normally I would do something really hard, like a bit of like, yeah, get me in my body, like, yeah. But Tai Chi is so much more yin with that dash of yang, which just really suits where my energy's at right now. But doubling back to the 59 and trauma and dishonesty, like you guys have all got the 59, your human design, yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like right now, the biggest mutations that are going on, like when you said, Joel, that there's something that's coming through, the 55 is undergoing a huge mutation and the 59 is having a huge mutation. In the gene key synthesis, those are two critical keys that push humanity out of victimhood and into a sense of freedom. And what I love about what I've been working through right now is just being able to let go of the wheel of trying to save people or push my way into like, no, I'm here to save the planet or make people enlightened or raise the consciousness or see if I can hit those high notes on David Hawkins' whatever it is,
map of consciousness. Yeah.
Map of consciousness. No, I'm here to make the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like, I'm just going to make the best. Everyone to sort it all out for them. It's like, no, actually, I can let go of the wheel and just know that it's
just let Jesus take it, bro.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Yahweh, come with me, Yahweh. Yeah, let Jesus take it, right? Like, and also not being different. So, Gene Key 16, which is in my attraction sphere, my hologenetic profile, like indifference, like the enemy of love isn't hate, it's indifference. And indifference carries a frequency. And what we were speaking about before around people that will be obedient to their not self because it's too hard to do anything else, right? A really deep down, there's a denial of indifference. Because if they were able to connect into the source, they were able to connect into nature and move through the unknown and know that everything's going to be okay, then your life trajectory shifts, your conversations shift, your relationships shift, because the fear of the unknown and needing to be in control and your relationship with death and the afterlife and the cycle of nature and what consciousness is to you, and that we're all okay and we can let go of the wheel. Like, it changes your outlook on life and presence. Like, it changes your how you are present with life.
Yeah.
Real quickly, I don't know if we've asked you this, and if we have, let me know. But how would you describe the difference between human design and gene keys? No, have to go into a whole long thing. I want to hear your thought on it.
Yeah, the short and the sweet. Human design is yang, and gene keys is yin.
All right, great.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah. Gene keys is imaginal. Human design is logical.
Yeah, much more right brain is gene keys, which is great until you want to go into some deeper, like real like lower self work. Because like I love the gene keys community. I love the human design community. And like human design gets so technical over their gates and their channels and the opens and the things, technical, like really technical. And then the gene keys are all wafty and they have a very specific way of talking. Like if you hang out on some of their calls, they all talk like this. They all have this, let's really go deep into ourselves and feel the mountain and the shadow and the gift and the city. And it's almost like there's a homogenized frequency in there, which isn't a good or a bad thing, but it's there. Right. And so for the real deep looking at their shadow and their lower self, or like the part of them that would, love to take all the credit from Richard Rudd, or despises that he's the one that created this system, or is angry at him because it was derived from human design and not everyone knows the full story, or whatever it is missing. So Gene Keys doesn't really go into the hatred and the part of you that would take out your neighbor if you had the opportunity to, and he'd get away with it scot-free, right? So there's still a pernicious avoidance of the reality of the meat suit, and that you're hard-coded. There's a part of you that's hard-coded for violence and survival. And given the correct environment, those things activate. Like that nurture nature part will just activate, unless you ever look at that beforehand. And when Jung says, you got to know the shadow, and the knowing the moment Peterson talks about the monster, like I think I mentioned this in the last podcast, like this intellectually knowing your monster, like, oh, I could do those things. Yeah, sure, I could hurt someone.
And actually feeling it, and
viscerally,
very different, very different.
Very different, very different. And even the concept of killing, like Gene Keys talks about this quite well. I think it's honor or valor. That when you honor your part, your role in the play of life, you do things knowing that it's in alignment. When you know that what you need to do is the correct thing, you remove yourself from the ideologies of, oh, I'd never kill. Like I'd never kill someone, right? Within the Gene Keys, maybe your life path is in this moment to take this other person's life. And there's an honor in that. When there's agreement between the people that are involved, there's an honor in that. And I think that's when you start looking deeper into the overall themes of life. And when you let go of the wheel, and when you're present with yourself, then you get the information to do the thing. And when you're amoral to it, nature's amoral. Like if you zoom out far enough, it's all amoral. There's no good or bad. It just is. So as soon as you look through the Christian lens, I love that Whitehead spoke to this. Oh my God. The how much Christian influence has influenced our dynamics of right and wrong. And there's a woman that I'm going back through. I bought 3 of her books over the lockdowns. Didn't read them, but I knew I needed to buy them. And she's a classical magician, not like a David Blaine hide a ace up in your goat, but they're that really deep magic, like old school magic, right? Where you connect in with the land, you talk to land spirits, you see the divine in everything, including inanimate things like rocks. To go even deeper is that like fairies and beings that are older than humanity, and then how deities have been split up. And the more that you fragment a god and a deity from its original source, the less power it has. And then the less power it has, the more susceptible it is to being parasited. And parasites are showing up huge now in my client base and people that I speak to, both physical and energetic. And when Bernard spoke about Whitgo, like for me, that's a giant parasite with like an egregore, like a mind being attached. The egregore is like a collective mind thing. And where I see oh man, I'm going all over the place here. This is really fascinating. When you like how New Age has gone to this Christian thing. Like for me, that's an egregore where whatever they're worshipping isn't actually the real thing. It's some surrogate thing which fits the fits the model of this unknown. They're looking for the solution in their unknown, but they're missing out on all of divinity and the individual, and that the individual has a choice, and the individual is the most powerful unit in a system. So once you invalidate the individual, mostly because you're invalidating yourself because you're looking outside of yourself for some kind of security, then you're becoming anti-divine. You're not honoring that this person that's opposite me right now, they might have a different belief to me, but they're actually part of the same fragment of the divine. And if I listen to my strategy and authority, do I need to get angry at them for their opinion? No. Great. Do I need to block them? No. Can I just walk away? Yes. Great.
I think the tricky thing though is I think we can say honor, strategy, and authority. Easier said than done for people that have been highly conditioned, highly traumatized, disconnected from the body. You know what I mean? So like I feel like, you know, there's like other work that needs to be done in order to open up that connection and that channel to like listening to the inner authority.
Totally agree, Erasmus. And I think like when you look at like trauma as a model of control, like the powers that be, whatever you want to call them, or you just see it as nature sorting the wheat from the chaff. And the hard line that I take is that some people aren't going to make it where we go next. They're just not going to make it. Like I've got people in my field whose mothers and fathers they've self-annihilated. I've got people who have left this earth surprised that they're gone now. So there's some people just aren't going to make it, and that's okay. And you really need to honor your fate line. Like, are you in denial of something in your life that you know you need to do and you're not doing it? Are you avoiding reaching out to that person? Are you avoiding taking responsibility? And what I see is that some people just aren't going to make it. I see that there's this is part of the Gene Key 55 and 59, where there's a mutation going on where we've bred the population to such a point of mutation where now it's, well, let's simplify again. It's a simplify because there's people that don't want to take responsibility, don't want to tap back into nature, don't want to tap back into the flow of life. And whoever's not in the flow of life will be left over there. And these are people that we deeply love, and we've wanted to reach out to them and say, hey, look, man, like, I really love for you to come and do this thing. Like, come and join my community, or go and do this therapy. Like, I can see you struggling in your relationship, or I can see you struggling in life, or have you started that job that you wanted to do? You know, have you started that business that you wanted to do? And then you get all the excuses, and then you know that excuses are just another form of denial. So look, some people just aren't going to make where we go next, and that's the humbling part of what I'm going through right now. Is that even with all my knowledge and the knowledge that's out there, that's free, it just requires the commitment to yourself, committed to self, to go through it. It's not gonna be here.
Yeah, there's even just the uncertainty of, even with all that, I could die tomorrow.
Exactly.
I've got this. Yeah. Gurdjieff speaks to this very, very interestingly. And from his perspective, it's like, he's like, nature doesn't want the masses to wake up. And what he said was, he said, the evolution of large masses of humanity is opposed to nature's purposes. The evolution of a certain small percentage may be in accord with nature's purposes. Man contains within him the possibility of evolution, but the evolution of humanity as a whole, that is the development of these possibilities in all men, or in most of them, or even in a large number of them, is not necessary for the purposes of the earth or of the planetary world in general, and it might in fact be injurious or fatal. There exist, therefore, special forces of a planetary character which oppose the evolution of large masses of humanity and keep it at the level it ought to be.
Yeah, beautiful.
Well, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I mean,
Yeah.
let's just look at the state now. Let's look at the state of the world 100 years ago. And I mean, when have the masses ever been awakened?
Well, he talks about it from like, even if you look at the microcosm of the human body, like imagine like all the individual cells all of a sudden became individuals and woke up and went their own way and built their own thing. It would go against, right, the natural evolution of the organism. So like we talk about collective awakening, mass awakening, this, that. It's not some people's fate, like you've been saying.
Yeah.
Like I'm coming more and more to that side of the fence as well.
Yeah, dude, I love that quote. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, it's great.
And you're right. Yeah, it speaks to exactly that. And some people are just maintenance consciousness, and they'll stay there. Someone needs to be the maintenance, that the groundskeepers of the planet, or planet or of the matrix or whatever it is. They just need people to do that.
Yeah. I mean, and this can sound very elitist, you know, to some, like obviously, but at the same time, it's the reality.
Yeah, and that's Gene Key 12, right? So there's an elitism and a vanity and a false humility that can come from like the 12th gene key is the last and the hardest one to do, because it's like you to be aware of your awareness is the shadow. To be aware of how woke you are is the shadow. You got to be so humble and knowing at the same time that you just are. You just are. You end up
Which gene key is this?
12. 12. So and the way
That's my main gene key.
This life theme.
bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
wow.
personality
Yeah,
sign
nice.
12, gene key 12.
Yeah, beautiful. So it's such a dude, it's such a beautiful gene key, beautiful synthesis.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
Back
yeah.
a couple of it after he calls it the hardest gene key to deal with.
Dude, tell me how awake I am.
Yeah.
Tell me how much better than I am. Tell me how much more work that I've done than everybody else. Like, just tell me. But it's beautiful, right? Like it's such a grounding representation of the human condition. And like how this meat suit just takes over, right? Make me feel good. Tell me how amazing. Tell me how beautiful I am. Tell me how good of an actor I am, or how good I am at performance, right? But it's the one that a lot of New Age and Christians can get stuck in, right? Where it's like, I know I have the solution. If I just align these 7 or 8 chakras, I'm good, right? If I can just sit here in an ascetic position for long enough, I'll ascend. It's like, nah, bruh. Nah, there's more. And maybe you're not here for it, and that's okay. That's your fate line. Yeah.
I want to ask you, Gerasimos, like for Gene Key 12, the shadow is vanity, the siddhi is purity, and it's through the gift of discrimination. Do you feel that resonant as a life theme for you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think I've struggled and had my own challenges with vanity or wanting to be seen a certain way, or to put forth a certain image, especially more so in my past. But yeah, discrimination, has played a huge role for me. And then purity, purity that can be a challenge.
What if it wasn't?
There's moments, but it's a challenge.
What if it wasn't Erasmus? What if it wasn't a challenge? What if it was just as easy as being in the garden and pulling some leaves out of a gutter?
You're hired. I'm pure. I was trying. Maybe it was some false humility there. Oh, it's hard. Fuck it, bro. Life, purity. This is
Yeah, dude.
there every day. Every word that comes out of my mouth, pure.
Yeah.
I drink it. It's like Evian. It's like spring water. It's like coming from the bowels of nature. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, the two of you are becoming more pure just by spending time with me right now.
I feel it. I feel it. Who cares about German new medicine? Just hug a Erasmus. It's like,
That's it, man. Bro, you'll resolve every conflict just by being within 6 feet of me.
The echoes of Erasmus's vocal cords are essentially breast milk for the collective.
Dude, I think it's such a like, dude, I love it because I do think when you jump on the healing bandwagon and you learn a few skills, there can be this, I've got the solution, I've got it, I've got it, right? And that vanity takes over. It's like, nah,
Yeah.
Reiki's the thing, right? Nah, Reiki's gonna solve the planet, or body work or whatever it is, or the characterology is gonna save the planet. It's just like,
Bro, but again, this has to do also too, in some level, even just thinking about the ajna, the conditioning influence of like, I'm certain, I'm certain. This is it. I just took a course. This is the truth. I just took another course next week. No, this is the truth. I have the answers. Like this is why I love this humility in that regard, or that phrase is in relation to this knowing that, man, I'm one person in all the history of the world, of personal experience, of knowledge and wisdom. How can I fucking think that I got it figured out? Oh, I read a book. I took a 2-hour fucking sound bath. Like, oh my God, like I know it. Like, I mean, like, come on, just check yourself. You can know things, you can provide guidance, you can be an inspiration, you could be an example, but there's just so much out there.
Yeah. And exactly, man. And like for people to think that like they're just waiting for that one book, or they're waiting for that one author, or that one person, or that one guru, or that one, and that's going to like synthesize all the information in the world and provide it to them in this perfectly discerned, condensed format where like they don't have to look anymore or look anywhere else. Like that is the ultimate illusion,
and what sprang out there was like, this is the return to the womb. I was like, put me back in the womb. Like, how can I make this easy? I love living in the womb. I didn't need to do anything. I was fed, it was warm. I had some little rumblings outside. Like I was entertained. I could hear my mum's guts. I could hear sudden sounds outside. It was easy for me. Right.
What's crazy, man, is like I think about all the courses and all the books I've read in my life. And yeah, I've gotten value from them in these experiences. And yet the thing that I think has maybe impacted me in such a deep way, and I've told this story before, when I was doing the 4-day trek to Machu Picchu, wearing, had my hiking boots on and all this stuff. And there were porters from some mountain village wearing like sandals, not like fancy $200 boots.
Kathmandu.
Carrying 50 pounds of all our stuff and all the tents and the things to prepare the meals. And the purity, again, like the essence, the sweetness, the smile, the gratitude, the simplicity that they're doing this. And they're looking at you like you look at them and their eyes sparkle. And they're making $10 a day, maybe, if that. So I'm not saying I want to make $10 a day. That doesn't work in my life. Okay. But what lesson can you take from that? That simplicity, that gratitude, that like whatever you do it with honor and respect and gratitude. And man, like that, and I remember I pulled out my first generation Kindle. I was against a rock reading the first Kindle that was ever made. And these freaking porters come up behind me like some child, like, what is this thing? And when I told them it was an electronic book, it was like, what? Like just that alone was eye-opening, witnessing their reaction to that. So again, man, it's like these experiences, these relationships, these moments, man, just
people aren't having those experiences anymore. Like these people have probably seen thousands of smartphones by this point in time now.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this was 15 years ago, so I think a lot has changed, but still, I don't know, man, that blew my mind. And so for me, I go, okay, well, I don't want that life. That's not my purpose, but how can I take some of that and integrate it into mine?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that you said that they came up to you like a child. And like on Whitehead spoke about this, like how to be genuinely curious, right? And the Bible speaks to this. I'm not quite sure if the Quran or some of the other books speak to this, but like, I tell you the truth, I quote, I tell you the truth, Unless you change and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever humbles himself like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Like becoming like a child, the kingdom of heaven, the body, just be curious about the body and curious about life. You're not going to be able to get there. And to become like a child again, for those of us that grew up in a rough childhood where you weren't allowed to be a kid, and this is the rigid injury in the 5 character patterns, 5 personality patterns, the rigid has the hardest time of being a child because they weren't allowed to be a child. They had to grow up really quickly. So to go back full circle and have fun in your inner work, like be able to laugh about goats and phones and whatever, being able to play in the dirt, having fun with your partner like a child is the game changer. But then also being able to have the discernment of the adult. We're like, well, I can't stay a child. I'm not going to stay a Peter Pan forever. I actually do need to have some responsibility here. Like I'm a provider now. So yeah, I'm not going to work on $10 a day either. Right? Like how I forecast my future is like, I mean, $10 could get me, maybe 15 years ago, so maybe it's about $40,000 now based on inflation. But I want to make money, right? And this is Gene Key 26, which is it's a trickster gene key, and it's also heart marketing. So particularly in the coaching world and the mentoring world, like wanting to dress up, putting on a uniform so you can market to people who are not where you are, right? And walking that line of, I know you want to get, I know what you want, what I want, what I have. I can take you to get there, but it requires a different kind of language communication so I can speak to wherever they are at on that consciousness map, right? So when I'm talking super woo-woo and I'm using terminology that nobody understands, who am I really fucking helping? No one, right? So I need to, let's downgrade or simplify my language so I can put on an outfit, whether it's a clown outfit or a Schwab outfit or some other kind of outfit that I can speak to the people that I feel like my heart's callings to work with, then I need to do that. And that requires a humbling pill. It's like going through the 12, going through like the 55 of victimhood, right? Because if I don't want, it's victimhood is that reoccurring frequency where I'm not in control. I need to vote for someone to save me. Like it's an entitlement, which actually is the merging pattern in the 5 personality patterns that builds in entitlement because you didn't get what you wanted from your mum in the womb. So you're looking for something outside of yourself for resolution, and it creates this cycle of victimhood where you don't want to take responsibility for your own life. And once you do that, like when you embody that with the work of Ayn Rand or the Jung individuation. Like you take such a radical responsibility of your life that it's scary and humbling at the same time. But there's nothing else like it. Like you can't tell someone how good it feels to be responsible for your own life until you actually get there, right?
Right.
Right. You know how I was saying before that, like, there's no one book or one teacher or one guru that has all the answers? I was lying. Our 10-week program, Rise Above the Herd, solves every single problem of the human condition imaginable.
Right. Keep it coming, bro. Really enjoy the plug, Joel. Like, really enjoy it. Like, really enjoy the plug. Like,
but that's because it's not just one book or one teacher. It's a synthesis of the most important teachers and books, just facilitated by not just one person, and not just 2 people, but 3 people. So we cover many, many angles there.
Right.
And you can go to riseabovetheherd.co to read all about it and to read all the testimonials of people that have achieved amazing results in the last 9 rounds.
And you got to include the ancient technology. And we use ancient technology to help you move through all of your deepest, darkest issues so you can live the life of your dreams.
And at the end of it, you will be ascended. There you go.
And you'll catch them all. You have all the Pokemon. You'll win the game. and that's Gene Key 26, Joel. I love that, man. Like I think just being able to own that there's an element of propaganda and manipulation in everything that we do.
It's
I just-
manipulation.
Yeah. Just
Yeah, but there is an element of like, I don't want to say manipulation, but like the more parts of you have access to, the more of you you're connected to, the more situations you can be successful in, because you're pulling on different parts of you in different situations. So like you
Totally.
could call it manipulation, but it's not. It's not like I'm consciously thinking, okay, now I'm going to do this and that. You're just more full, you're more whole, you're more integrated, and bam, 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 you're just handling it. And sometimes people need to be handled. I've had conversations with people where I consciously go, okay, this person is retarded and they need to be handled.
That was a one-on-one on how to manipulate without manipulating.
You know what I mean? I just know, but I mean, just saying, like, again, there's complexity to life. Like,
Yeah, but it's complexity.
this complexity.
Bro, this idiot that I needed to handle. I wasn't manipulating him, but I needed to handle him.
That's
You know,
not the word he
complexity.
used, John. Don't manipulate his words, John. That is not the word he used.
But like, you go into a store sometimes, okay, and you need to get your needs met, and like you're dealing with someone who just like probably has an IQ of 90, if they're lucky.
Dude, and I love that you dropped in IQ again, because I'm pretty sure both David and Bernard mentioned
Bro,
IQ
you love
as
these
well.
episodes, hey. You love those episodes.
Dude, man, bro,
Me?
and I got to make the call
John,
back, bro.
John.
Oh, those episodes. Oh yeah, he loves it.
Dude, man, like, because
John just found our podcast like 3 weeks ago, and he just happened to listen to the last two. Bro, we got like 180 other ones, bro.
I wanted to be prepared.
Yeah, Dude, he's been listening to his first episode on repeat for the last year since there.
Yeah, he's like, I can't wait to get back on. I'm totally gonna approach it so differently.
Dude, and that's iteration for me. Like I love doing it better. Give me that girth, that intellectual girth. But when you drop the IQ thing, man, like the lower the IQ, the more people look to superstition to solve their problems. The more people look to the religion to solve their problems. And this is a recurring theme throughout history. Once the level of education dips, people look to superstition and religion to find the solutions for their problems. And you're right. You're right.
I think with the decline of reason, the incline of superstition comes about. Yeah.
Totally. And yet sometimes you do, when you operate from that level of consciousness, that purity, and you look at some schmuck in the store when you want to get your needs met, you do need to handle them, right? You pivot, match where their energy's at or whatever it is, and just pivot. Like,
Well, you
grow.
consciously pull on different parts of you. Like you might speak to them in a certain way. You may like you do what you got to do. Sometimes.
At the end of the day, it's all survival, right?
You cannot
And
possibly meet everyone at the same level of consciousness. That's a
No.
joke.
Well, it's
Yeah,
also
totally.
too like, even I think about my parents. Okay, I love my parents, amazing people. Obviously, my father recently passed away. But they lived a completely different life.
Yeah.
Okay, like their level of consciousness is just different than someone who maybe has had different life experiences and read books and studied psychology and philosophy or whatever. It's just different. So like, my parents, they weren't the type of parents where like, I'm gonna tell them everything that's going on in my life. They don't have the consciousness to receive that in a way that would be suitable to what I want and my needs and my relationship. If I'm like, hey, like, oh, I'm feeling a little achy today. Oh, like my mom would be like, I don't feel well today. Oh, what'd you do? Like, oh, I'm a little depressed. Like I had this conversation with my wife. Like it just, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm fine, Mom. Life's great. I'm amazing.
Yeah.
Like she's not the person that I'm gonna go to tell her like the little nitty gritty, or I'm going through a dark night of the soul. She's probably like, what is dark night of the soul? You know what I mean? Like, so like this is where you have to have the discernment and this discrimination to know how to deal and what to say and how to be with different types of people. It can't just be the same fucking collection of parts with this everyone.
Bro, let me read to you this gift of discrimination,
That's
which
great,
is
Erasmus. That's great. I love that.
which is your life theme. At the gift level, this energy transforms into discrimination, which is the ability to discern truth from falsehood, allowing individuals to communicate with clarity and authenticity.
Bro, it's definitely like I want to pat myself on the back. That definitely is a gift that I have in my life. Do I use it all the time? No, but it's something that I think I came into this world inherently that was there for me. I know my King of Clubs card relates to that as well, but it's just like I just feel like that's something that has served me well, especially in interpersonal communications and dealing with people, you know? So, anyways, I think you guys get what I'm saying. And it's just like you have to have that discernment.
Totally agree. And then when I look at it, it's all about survival. It's like, yeah, cool. That's just I want to keep on living. I want to keep on enjoying my life. I'm not going to let this guy or whatever this is get in my way. I'm going to have the conversation that I want to have so I can keep on doing the next thing.
Yeah.
I'll obfuscate information. Like I won't say a thing because I know that conversation is not what I want to have right now. For example, like at my local coffee shop, I'm not going to drop in like the dark night of the soul or whatever lower self work that I've just been doing. I'm going to be like, yeah, my family's great. Family's great. Yeah, I'll have the halloumi burger, please.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to.
Yeah, exactly. Well, even I was at Confluence's event recently.
My life is as dark as this coffee is right now.
Yeah. How do you like your coffee? Black, like my life.
Like the void. Give me
Yeah.
like a void. Is there a void? Is there a void option there?
But I was at this event recently and they were talking about law, in the sovereignty world is all about law and this and that. And someone was talking about how like, listen, I'm not gonna like throw all this shit out at a cop that's trying to. I'm gonna be like, okay, cool, thanks for the ticket, and then I'm gonna go deal with everything with paperwork, how I respond, what I write, what I say. Like, so depending on the situation, yelling and screaming at a cop or someone else isn't gonna get you what you ultimately want when you understand things on a deeper level. So certain people that understand things, okay, cool, thanks, give me my ticket, and then they do things behind the scenes and handle it. You know what I mean? So like, again, this is where the discrimination and the high IQ, the high EQ, comes into play when you're dealing with this stuff. I mean, just look at online all day. You're just looking at emotionally retarded individuals.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the emails we're gonna get from this one.
Look up the definition of retarded, okay? Like people want to like be. I'm not talking about someone who's dealing with a challenge or a brain injury or something of that nature. I'm talking about someone who is slow, someone whose emotional intelligence has been retarded. Someone who behaves in a way where like their EQ and IQ has been retarded.
Yeah, and a combination of trauma can do that, and a combination of your genetics and where you grew up, the state, the environment that you grew up in.
So many factors.
I'm
retarded in certain areas. Like
really,
I am. Like my mind doesn't focus on it. Like
which areas? Which areas are you? Which areas do you most find this inner retard?
When I park somewhere with my wife, for some reason I outsource it and she just knows like where we're parking. I don't pay attention. I get out of the car, I'm like doing shit, I'm on my phone. I forget that I parked in level P3 or something. You know what I mean? Like, so, and then one time I like went to the mall and returned something and I parked somewhere and I had to get back. I think it was for a podcast or something else. I can't remember if I called you, and I'm like, I didn't remember where I parked. And I'm running up and down. It took me 35 minutes to find a fucking car. So like I was retarded then.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
But you talked about before about being honest with yourself. How many of us can be honest and go, listen, I behave in a retarded manner in these situations.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I fucked up. Like especially in a relationship. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I fucked up. And also being able to hold the line too. Like recently, for example. Like for me, I can really avoid conflict in a relationship, and knowing what that feels like for me is like, oh, am I avoiding conflict right now? And the conflict that I do raise usually ends up sending the relationship through a death cycle, where either I need to feel the death or my partner needs to feel the death. And being able to be honest in a way that this is important, like this is important for me, it's important for the future of the family, and also being with the discomfort of like that shutdown that can happen, like when hurt's involved in particular, the longer the hurt goes on for, the more closed down the heart gets. So to open that heart back up again, and this is part of the rigid personality pattern, to open that heart up again is a real challenge. Like to to anchor yourself to the vision, to anchor yourself that, oh, this is just feeling like this. I just feel fucking hurt. And like, oh, I kind of just be with the hurt. I wasn't expecting that. My life is great, but I don't, because hurt sucks to feel, right?
Fuck, man.
But you gotta do it. Like, and once you do it and you choose to open that's what I like about the Gene Keys. It's always about opening your heart again. Gene Key 25. Because the shadow of the 25 is constriction. And when you stay in the hurt, you constrict, your body constricts, you become like almost almost said Rick and Morty, but rigor mortis, right? You become like this. And then to open your heart up, open their chest up and be with, oh, you know what? The hurt is only temporary. This relationship's so much more important to me and where we go. I want to wake up. I want to wake up and know that I can have a conversation with you and laugh, slap you on the bum, go and make breakfast, whatever it is, right? I really want to enjoy this. But when you lock down internally in the hurt, you close down to life. Life can't flow through you. So then what I find is when I get stuck in the hurt, more tragedies happen for me. Like more like I hit things with my body. My conversations are more labored. I am asking for the darkest of dark coffees at the coffee shop, like there's other things that play out when you keep your heart closed.
Yeah.
Agree.
In my Gene Keys, I don't know which one it is. I think one of them, it says what's really important, the physical one, I guess. I don't know if it's the third one on the summary.
39,
I forget, but I just remember the summary on mine for that one. When you go to get your free report, there's like the 4 ones. I don't know if it's a third one that has to do with like your vitality, your physical health or something. It says for me, like, as long as the area around my heart is open, then I'm good.
Yeah, bro.
And I noticed that, man. I noticed, like, if I feel like a little contracted or something, like,
well, it's
open it up.
Yeah, it's a purifying force, like the sun is.
Yeah.
It's like how you keep your field clear. It's how you like, disintegrate those little niggling things that would otherwise come in and consume and grow and have their way.
And just be willing to feel, man. That's why I love the great Rumi quote, one of my favorites of all time. You have to keep breaking your heart in order for it to open. Like, can you allow it to penetrate? Can you allow it really on some level and for it to just keep going? And then, like, man, like, I remember a period of time, and there was like I don't know how many year period where I didn't cry once. It was like post college, before I got into acting, and pursued that path for a while. And then, like, the work that I was doing there, which was, inner work, it was deep work. It, like, just shit opened up, and I remember just like weeping. Now, man, like, I cry at commercials, bro. Like, shit. Like, it's just this.
Yeah, I cried the retards at the shop. I'm like, why are you so retarded? I can't believe this hurts.
All right, now you're taking it too far, bro. Okay, we weren't gonna get canceled up until that point, but now for sure. But there's something so beautiful. But this is nature, man. This is like,
yeah,
man. Like, I love being overwhelmed with a sense of awe, and then that sense of awe, it's like all of a sudden tears start coming down, like, whoa, man, what is that? What is that essence, that beauty, that rawness, that power, man? Like the littlest thing, just, and it's not like a sadness.
Totally.
It's like this just like overwhelm of just this deep, deep feeling, man. I love it.
Yeah, thank you. And you opened that up for me too by sharing it, Erasmus. I was like, I feel that, like, when I've like doing Tai Chi at the beach in the morning and like stopping and having one of those moments in time. I think there's an author, it's Rilke or somebody else speaks about it. But moments in time where, like, you're just so penetrated by the moment that it's beautiful and sad at the same time. It's like, oh, I could die right now and I'll be okay. Like, I could just this is really it. Like, I love this.
This is why I love art. Why I love art and cinema and whatever, and like music. Like, it just brings you. It has the potential to bring you to that exact place.
Yeah.
And again, depending on what's going on in your life, what you're navigating, certain songs, certain music, certain pieces of art are gonna bring that out in that moment. But then, like, maybe a week ago it wouldn't, or 2 weeks from now it wouldn't. It was just that moment. You know, like I brought up in Friends of the Truth, the documentary, My Octopus Teacher. And like,
Yeah.
bro, I was fucking just like waterfall, man. Just something hit me there. You know, this man's connection with this mystery, this unknown world, this creature, like the cinematography, the beauty of nature. Man, fuck.
What you're both talking about is awe, in my opinion. And to me, like awe is like it's like a remembrance, right? It's when I think like, you know, density shifts and like that true self or that true essence, you know, it gets to peek through in a brighter way. And it's like a remembrance of like this nature of ourself that is deeply connected, you know, to all things, you know, but it's hard when we're so consumed, so occupied, you know, constantly moving from, you know, screen to screen to screen to conversation to whatnot. And, you know, a huge piece of the puzzle in navigating life appropriately is being able to give yourself moments to be awed, to sit, to reflect, to be with nothing. Like you cannot possibly be psychologically fully healthy if you don't have that, you know, on some kind of routine basis, in my view.
Yeah, totally agree.
John, real quickly, pop quiz. Which one of our previous guests talks about true self and essence?
True self and essence. I want to say Jeff Brown.
No, I thought it was a continuation of Bernard. You know, we were talking about essence and true self.
I could feel you baiting me, motherfucker.
He must have only listened to the first half an hour, then came on here and was like, I was baiting the episodes.
Dude, I listened to both. You two cynical, closed-hearted bastards. But Joel, what you're speaking about there was Jinky 55. Like that's 33. And remembering, like it's got a gift of mindfulness. And I think if being able to stop and reflecting on your past, like you'll have the transformation. Like when you reflect on the past, like people always want to look for the next book, whatever it is. You've actually lived enough. If you stopped and looked back, you'd discover it. Like whatever's there, look at the patterns in your life, you'll discover it. But if you're not present enough to that, and trauma takes you out of presence, trauma puts you in overwhelm so you can't be present. So that when you're present to life, you have so many more of those awe moments, right? You just look at an octopus and you're like, oh my God, it reminds me of that show, right? Yeah. Or you look at the bottom of your coffee cup and you're like, God damn, that was such a good coffee, right? Or whatever it was, right? But it requires the presence. And this is mindfulness beyond what it's become, like the commercial form of mindfulness where like, oh, I'm mindful. Fucking mindful?
I know.
See, I can see you got your coffee on, you got your phone on, you got all this other stuff on. You're not mindful at all. You're not even present. But you go and do yoga on the weekend. But no. Presence is a way of life. Mindfulness is a way of life, but it requires you to slow right down and listen to that heartbeat of Earth, which ties you in with the heartbeat of yourself so you can sync up. And then connection's different. Like how you move through life is different. Your decisions are different. There's a deliberateness, and your discernment in clarity is so much more potent because you're operating in these waves. And and doubling back to Bernhard, and the manifestation piece of manifesting. He drops in manifesting.
He did get to the end of the podcast. Okay.
Dude, yeah, that's right. Fred, me, right, effort, right, preparation, did the thing.
Diligent, good go.
Thank you. And but the manifestation piece, when you're manifesting outside of alignment, which is very attractive, like 6-figure income, 8-figure income. I was like, yeah, but is that actually for you?
Yeah.
Like, was that for something else? Right. And then once you discover what's for you, which I think ties back to your strategy and your authority, if you take the effort to go there, life is easy. Like life is easy. Like you should feel the thing, get the clarity. And maybe you're still confused, and confusion just needs time. Genki 64 is confusion just needs time. And sometimes you need to outsource it to somebody else. Like Here for the Truth. Next season's open. Like register now.
Rise with the herd, bro. Get it right.
Rise with the herd. That's it. Is it Rise with the herd?
Here for the Choose the Podcast. Come on.
Yeah, sorry. So branding. No, it's the hat. It's the merch that threw me, Joel.
Here for the truth.com/merch. Get your own hat.
And coffee mug. We got a great coffee mug. The black one, 15 ounce. Like,
Yeah.
I think everyone should have that one.
Yeah.
It's really great.
It's too big for coffee. What is that?
Yeah, but you don't have to have coffee. You could just put like some I don't know, yerba mate or non-caffeinated warm beverage in there if you want. Listen, if you listen to the podcast and want to support us, first things first, sign up for our program. Second things, buy a mug. Okay, great. Thanks. Really appreciate it.
As seen being sipped by the lips of Erasmus.
Yes.
So pure. So pure.
So pure. Let me kiss it for you. Both of you can kiss it. You can take some merch. You could do some dual signed merch in LA when you go over there. That would be hot. Hats signed by Erasmus and Joel. Yeah, nice. Gonna give away.
Oh, thank you.
Share this podcast with 10 people.
All jokes aside, so much love and respect, obviously, to everyone that listens to our podcast. You guys are awesome. Especially John. You listen to all our episodes, so you're amazing.
Dude, I do. I'm your biggest fan.
My wife has listened to every single podcast, and not just because she's my wife. She does it because she really enjoys it.
What do you love most about our podcast, John?
Dude, I think it's the guests.
What?
I think it's the guests.
What?
Hold on. Easy.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah, bro.
Easy purity.
Okay, go continue.
And the banter. Like, I love where you guys go. I love the caliber of guests that you have. I love both of your experience too, and how you both apply like your own wisdom and your own life experience to it, and you just drop bombs all the way through the podcast. Like, the wisdom just comes in. It's like it's so content dense. That's what I love about it. Like, I do love other people's podcasts too, depending on their function. Like, I've been listening to like Wild Birth podcasts, and what else have I been listening to? Like, listen to Rick Rubin's one with Richard Rudd the other day. That was a great one. But I love this podcast for the guests, bro. Like, and then you recommend them to me. Like, if something shows up on my feed, Joel will be like, "John, did you listen to this podcast?" I'm like, "No, I haven't." But you're the second person that's recommended it to me, right? So I'm like, "Yeah, go have a listen to that." But I'll listen to them surgically. Like, if you tag me in a podcast, I'm going to listen to it because it relates, right? So that's what I love.
I hear you, man.
You're
I hear
awesome.
you.
Please Venmo John the $1,000.
I will Venmo him. Well, you were supposed to turn off the recording for that part. Anyways, whatever. I agree, man. I love the guests that we have. I think like we have high quality guests. I think all our episodes, man, are just like solid. Yeah, man. So thank you for saying that, because I feel like it's something Joel and I take pride on.
And it's fun. It's fun.
And then sometimes you get someone who emails you and goes off on you because of anyways, I won't get into that.
But I think it's important to get into, because like, first of all, the terror piece. So the leaving pattern will go into their head, and text and messaging is a head thing. You're not actually feeling the feelings of being there. You're avoiding it. You're outsourcing your own internal authority to you guys. It's like, Erasmus and Joel validate my victimhood and make me feel safe. No. Feel it. Know that everyone can have their own opinions and move through it. Actually accept the gift that comes from being triggered or activated, and know that it's a grindstone for you to become more individuated, right? So, yeah, that's what I, dude, I love that, man. I saw you drop away.
That was a glitch, bro. I don't even know what happened,
dude. That was the glitch. Yeah, it was deja vu, bro. Matrix, man. Reprogramming. Like, we're just dropping bombs over here.
I think
Matrix as we go.
I think your heart is just so pure that it's messing with the technology a bit.
I think so. I think it reached out to like the mouse and pressed it, and my arrow just happened to be over the stop video button.
And dude, and I don't know if in your guys' work, when you're working one-on-one through Rise Above the Herd, join now, is that like sometimes technology will drop out, right? Like there'll be a really potent moment for me. Usually when I'm dealing with a manifester, dude, manifestors just mess with my technology, bro. Like they'll be having some epiphany that they've been not living a not self manifester life, and their camera will drop out, or the internet will drop out, or something else. I'm like, cool, yeah, sure, this could be a superstitious thing, and the timing's just perfect. But there's something energetically going on in the toroidal field of your who you are and what's going on for you. Dude, you did it again, bro.
Fuck, this is crazy.
Hey, John, did you just use the foundation of pitching our program to pitch the epiphanies you're able to offer manifestors when you work with them one-on-one?
Dude, I have no idea what I just said.
That's how I
It just
feel
came
most of the
out.
time during our interview with you.
Purity, bro. I'm so pure.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Oh man, I was so looking forward to this conversation, man, because I just like, I don't know, man, you're just that guy that can go in a lot of different directions and like have fun and be serious and deep and provide some profound wisdom and yet like talk about fucking goats and shit, you know, like
Yeah.
I want to
My
ask
goat
you
has a
something.
pronoun now.
I want to ask you something. So last time we spoke, you went by the name John Kai Herbert.
Yes.
You've now changed your name to John Kai Wallis. Wallis being your wife's partner's, last name. Do you want to speak into that?
wait, this is your wife's partner's last name? Like, hold on.
My wife's
Are you married?
Yeah.
Are you married?
Yeah, I am. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
okay.
my wife's name. Yeah, Wallis. Yeah, interesting, Joel. So, like, it started with, well, do you want to get married? What would it mean for us to get married? And I was like, well, or did it start with changing my name? I can't remember. But what would boil down to me, Joel, was I just need to change something in this dynamic. Like there's something that needs to shift. I don't want to give her my last name, Herbert. But there's
Why?
something
Why?
about, yeah, there's something about the charge in the name just wasn't correct. And then when I asked my strategy and authority, I'm like, okay, let's just do this thing. I don't know where it's going to take me, but I just need to go and do the thing. The Herbert lineage, like it's got a history, but it also felt like it was a rite of passage too. Like I wanted to continue the Wallis lineage and the frequency of that name, whatever that carries, versus the Herbert lineage and whatever's in there. Like for me, that was just what was correct for me. And I love being a Wallis. Like as far as a family goes, like they're much more of a family unit. Like they're actually my grandparents are there to help raise my son, right? It's the lineage of where I want to take, where I see humanity can go. Where like having grandparents around your kids is a big difference, right? And then strategically why I moved to Wollongong was because of that reason.
Mm-hmm.
And like seeing Luca grow up with his grandparents around is different. But my parents are great at providing for me financially, but then emotionally, it's like, no.
Cool. How did your parents feel about this? Are they alive? I'm not sure the situation.
Yeah, they are. My dad's alive, mum's alive. To be honest, I didn't tell them. I just let them work it out for themselves. That's like they just see my name change on social media and
Are you denying reality, John?
Am I denying reality? Well, like again, like with like the purity piece and the discernment, it's like it's not relevant to me.
yeah, like I got to pick up the phone and say, hello, it's 1 p.m. on a Friday afternoon. Hello, mom, dad. I want to let you know that I changed my last name. Like, oh, okay.
Right? Like my dad, my relationship with my dad, if we've got a WhatsApp channel, he continuously sends me stuff about Charles Schwab, Schwab and the WEF and WEF, all the World Economic Forum, all that stuff. Like that's all he gives me. Or something that Russell Brand's done or Elon Musk. I'm like, okay, cool. That's my relationship with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mum, like my mum's about, she's a therapist, and she works like the hotless suicide hotlines, and that kind of stuff. And we talk about psychology, and we talk about like Luca or what's going on with Cassie, or we just talk about life. But it's still a high level intellectual relationship. There's not really like depth there. But then with on Cassie's side of the family, there's a warmth. There's a how you doing, and there's also a simplicity there as well, which I really enjoy. I don't need to surround myself with people that are doing the deep work all the time. It actually gets fucking exhausting.
Exhausting.
But being around like people that are just living their life, like going to Bali or like going to the local coffee shop to talk with the old surfer mates. Like it's so simple and beautiful that I really enjoy it. And Dave, my father-in-law, like he loves coming here and checking out what books I have. Like I've got books on like Qigong and Mantak Chia, and he checks my bookshelf out and goes, "Oh, John, I'm going to read that one." I'm like, "Yeah, great, Dave. Go on, enjoy that. Read that book, and tell me the summary of whatever's there." Yeah.
Cool, man. No, I appreciate your answering that. I dare say, like within the collective, there'll be some element of projection that this is like a demasculinizing thing. Is this something that you felt in doing this, and how have you dealt with that?
Yeah, actually, like ritualistically, I cut my testicles off when I did that.
Okay.
No, it's not. What were you gonna say?
No. Before you said that, I was gonna be like, yeah, you just had a sex change operation, and then you literally said that, so that was pretty funny. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, it's actually John Kai Eunuch Wallis now.
Amazing.
They call me the finger, but then like like sure, and the collective is still wrapped in this masculine way of being, like whatever the red pill, like all that kind of stuff. I was like, you disconnected from the yin. Like, well, it's yin. The world, the planet is yin. Okay. And the more you can be in the feminine and own it, and then be yang when you need to be yang, like life is easy. Like so easy. And like I do things like my part of my human design and gene keys is to be provocative. Me living my life as an individual piss a lot of people off and trigger a lot of people. I'm here for it. I'm here for you, right?
He's here for
in
the
that.
truth.
I'll just do things that will. Oh fuck, that's uncomfortable, John. So demasculinize. You can't demasculinize a man who's himself, whatever that looks like. You can't. He's unshakable. You can call me whatever it is that you want to call me. I'm unshakable. Just don't knock me about my hairstyle. I'll be all right. on my brick wall, like I'll be all right.
I like your brick wall. I like your hairstyle too. Can I ask you, what's your background? Like, what's your like ethnicity?
My ethnicity is, depending on who I'm speaking to, I'll either say that I'm from my mother's from the West Indies or the Caribbean. So that's where, in the West Indies, bro, they were conquered by so many people. So I'll probably have some Pakistani or some Indian in me somewhere. And then my dad's from Europe. So when I did my 23andMe, all over the place. I'm like a sperm milkshake. I've come from all different places. But in that, it gives me a great versatility because I can move between different worlds because people don't know what I am. So sometimes I'll be talking to someone who's Turkish or Greek, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're from my country." Or, dude, when I've been in
you're ethnically ambiguous was the phrase used in the acting world.
He starts dropping like an accent depending on who he's speaking to as well.
Yes,
I do.
Welcome.
Very, very much. Very, very much. I love you.
Welcome.
Send those emails, people. Send them in. Email in. And then
I really liked your podcast until that last moment when you got racial. Okay, that John Kai Herbert Wallis, whatever the fuck his name is, he should not have pretended to be, I don't know, whatever he is in. Was it an Indian accent? But I'm never listening to this podcast again, and I'm emailing you to let you know. Thanks.
And I think like stereotyping is so important. Like if you're actually if you're actually dedicated to sincere inner work, stereotyping is just a natural part of all of the inner work. Like you just own it. Like, I'm stereotyping right now. And if you want to go, it's not even racism. It's just stereotyping. Just own it. Bro. Like fuck, man. Like
I'm right there with
yourself.
You. Yeah, exactly. Get over yourself, man. Chill the fuck out. People need to chill. It's not that
doubling back, like in deep Australia, like I've been mistaken for someone who's Aboriginal or Indigenous Australian or First Australian, whatever you want to call them, right? Like there's a versatility that comes from this flesh.
Do you play on that to receive extra benefits from the government?
Totally, bro. I do.
You got to handle the government sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So use it to his advantage.
Take advantage, you know. It's you know, gotta handle it. 12, GK 12, gotta handle it. You know, gotta get my wants, get my needs met.
Well, I mean, the government's retarded, right?
Yeah,
so retarded.
exactly. There you go.
Tick this box, you know, dude. Like in Australia, bro. Like there's like you know how we're all doing the like the welcome to countries, like the welcome to country, like the talk about the indigenous. Like it's become this sterile thing that there's no connection to the land when they're doing a welcome to country. So we've got to do the welcome to country. You're not even connected to the land. Like you're not. So stop pretending to be. Stop doing this ritual that you have no honor in.
Yeah, it's just ticking the box of virtue in their psyche for most people.
Yeah, and it's disgusting for me. Like I can feel the disgust coming up in my body. Like you disgust me if you do that.
What personality pattern is like the hardcore virtue signaler? Like can they be many? Is it kind of like, or would you find that
they work in combination? So a lot of it's pre-verbal for the first one. So talking therapy doesn't even scratch the surface. Any pre-verbal injury, talking therapy is a fucking waste of time.
Yeah.
The merging pattern is the entitled one. So that the entitled one wants you to terraform the world for them. Make me safe, daddy. Make me safe, mummy. So they're the ones that get the most woke. But then the leaving pattern is the one that doesn't allow them to be grounded and actually receive the wisdom. So you tell them, grow up. You know, you tell them, get over yourself. They haven't got the grounding in their body to actually be with the criticism because they split off, they disassociate. And then the merging pattern, the enduring pattern will just be stubborn. And they're just like, no, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to self-flagellate and hate myself for the rest of my life because then I can use that as leverage to get what I want from the government or from you or from whatever it is. That tends to be someone who has a lot more adipose tissue on their body and it doesn't have to be. And then the rigid becomes these are the rules. So we're going to put all these woke rules in here. We're going to change the laws in Canada. We're going to backdate all the whatever it is. You know, we're going to change the law. We're going to make it a rule, right? And then you're being disobedient to the rule. You're being racist. You're not allowed to be racist. Like rigid, get over it, mate. Like become a child again. Life's not that fucking serious. And then you have the aggressive type over all of it, which wants to dominate. So it's like, I'm going to dominate you. We need to change the world. We need to implement these woke protocols because this is how it needs to happen. So all 5 work in unison to perpetuate the trauma cycle. And then once you break one, then someone can have a little bit of space to be
these Illuminati hand signals waving into this.
Yeah. I thought that was some like Star Trek shit or something. I don't know what was going on, like some new Vulcan fucking.
Yeah, I didn't cover my left eye. What are you doing, John? You know, like
continuing the trauma cycle.
Unfollow, email. Don't watch the video, guys. I couldn't be Erasmus.
Yeah, for anyone listening, this episode, we should put it in the beginning of the intro. This might be an episode you might want to watch.
Controlled opposition.
Anyways, you were saying something amazing before Joel interrupted you.
That's it. I finished. I think I finished. That was perfect.
Thank you, bro. Great. Thank you. I got a final question for you, man. Can you talk into the importance, bro, of like laughter and humor in like life and selfhood and personal development?
Yeah. Okay. So, like you can stop laughing, and that's held in the body. So when you do body work, sometimes you need to be tickled, and then under that there's grief, and you need to feel the grief. So the assumption in body work is that you need to work the fascia, you need to work this, you need to go deep into the muscles. Sometimes you just need to be fucking tickled. And then the importance of laughter here is there's 2 types of laughter. There's actually 3 types of laughter, but I'll speak to the 2. There's a laughter which you use to discharge the discomfort. And then there's laughter where you really go into, like, this is some funny shit that's happening right now. And what can happen is when you use laughter as a defense to not go into whatever it is, the deep stuff, you're at higher risk of self-annihilation because it's deceptive. Like if you look at a lot of comedians that take their own life, like you laugh, and people that unexpectedly self-annihilate. But you're such a happy guy. You're always laughing. Yeah, but you're also in denial of what the pain of underneath all of that, right? And laughter is important here because once you connect to nature, once you zoom out large enough, zoom out far enough, and you see that it's all just a cosmic joke, like it makes the inner work so less serious. It makes the needing to, like, look at the books on my shelf, like How to Do the Work by Nicole LePera and Iron John and Fire in the Belly and all this other kind of stuff on the shelf over there. And it's like, look, I'm really fucking serious, right? You know, and you get, have you journaled that yet? Have you journaled that? You know, now, or you go into like deep dream analysis. You journaling all your dreams. It's like life can be fun and playful. I think it's becoming like a child again. Like hearing a child's laughter does something.
Yeah.
And then when you can tap into that archetypally within yourself, you I don't know where that sits on the map, the frequency on the David Hawkins consciousness map, but it's something that's in there that I think penetrates all of them. Is laughter. Like I think it's the thread that can hold it all, and deep laughter. And the more body work that you do, the deeper your laugh gets because you start laughing from the diaphragm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like it's a real like and it penetrates and activates something in other people as well. But dude, like if you're not laughing at least once or twice a day, or laughing with your partner, or laughing at some point that's funny, is genuine, and you're not denying your reality, like you'll have a great life. You'll live a long time.
Yeah. I agree. That's why I look so young, even though I'm about to turn 44.
You're a hot 44, bro. Down 44 this year too.
Oh, nice, man. Where were born? Did we realize we were both born 80? Did we realize that
80s.
last time?
80s.
80,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
80.
Yeah, me too.
January.
Wait, January. Wait, you said, oh, this year, you mean you just turned 44? Oh, okay. I thought you said you're going to. Yeah, great. Awesome, man. It's another thing I love about you. We're born in the same year.
Didn't realize I was
80.
podcasting with a bunch of veterans over here.
Yeah, for sure. But it's so true, man. I mean, laughing and humor and not taking life so seriously, not taking yourself serious. I like making myself laugh. Like I say things and I just laugh at myself, like all the time. Like I'll say something to my wife, maybe she'll laugh, but I'll laugh like 100 times harder. You know, because I'm like, oh, it's so brilliant and hilarious what I just said. I need to just laugh at it.
It's so pure. It's so pure, his comedy, isn't it?
It's so pure.
You're right. I think it's important. I love it myself too. Like all the inner monologue. Like it's so important to laugh. You know.
Yeah.
Like, what are you laughing at, John? Oh, nothing. Like I'm just laughing at something. Because even just to explain what you're laughing at kills it.
It kills it. It's like I can't. I try to sometimes, and I'm like, no.
It's not for you. Like how I got here was almost an hour's worth of internal monologue. So I can't take you back there.
Yeah. That's why, like, I loved. There's something. Again, I don't know. It's just part of my nature, but like personal development work and all this deep work, it's intense. But I don't know. There's a lightness and a playfulness and a fun to it over the years that I've enjoyed. What's this new thing? Oh, what's this exercise? What's this body work? Oh, I'm crying. Wow, that's so cool. Like it's just
experiment. Live the experiment. Live it.
Yeah. What the fuck are we gonna title this episode? That's what I'm wondering.
Let the AI handle it, bro, and go have a good life.
Yeah, outsource.
I'm not gonna say the title on my mind. Okay.
Good discernment, bro. Good discernment. You're learning.
I am learning.
Spend
John,
some more time with both of us, bro. You'll be enlightened, bro. 33D. That's another thing I love about John. Like, I love how he just laughs and like moves as far away from the microphone as possible. He's like,
bro, gives that stereo. It's depth.
I love it, bro. I love it. I love how fucking rich you are, man. With your expression. I fucking love it, bro. This is one of my favorite podcasts in a while.
You said it every podcast.
I don't know. Maybe say every other one.
Because I've listened to all of them.
It started slow, but yeah, definitely picked up the
But
pace.
there's different types, like again, the different types of podcasts. I like these back and forths. They're like fun, and sometimes it's like very information heavy, and we have certain guests on, and it's like you ask 3 questions, and then 90 minutes are done.
Mhm.
So, well, we'll see. Anyways, man, what's new? I mean, what do you got going on? How can people get in touch with you? How can they support you? How can they Venmo you thousands and thousands of dollars so they can heal and become, amazing?
Yeah, thank you. But part of it is like, don't reach out to me unless you're willing to have your life transformed.
Yeah.
Like, don't. There's plenty of other stuff out there. Like, go join Friends of the Truth first. And if you get sick of those guys or you want to come work with me, then come work with me.
Well, actually, John is now offering his services free of charge inside Friends of the Truth.
Yeah, dude, actually, like, if anyone's got a question, just fucking tag me in Telegram. Dude, that chat goes off.
Yeah,
just tag me if you got a question for me. Like, I'll answer it. So,
bro, I fucking love Friends of the Truth, bro. I love that you're in there. Anyways, I don't want to steal your thunder. You're talking about things you're doing. We'll get back to that shit after.
No, you can't steal my thunder, bro. My thunder goes.
All right, cool.
Yeah, you're gonna say whatever you want. Then we're gonna like say our piece at the end to make sure people hear our offer after your offer. Okay.
Got it. No manipulation here. Like you can work with me one-on-one, work with me group. I'm actually starting up a new community. It's
so you're doing R&D inside Friends of the Truth because you're starting your own community.
No, dude. Here you go. This is suspicious.
Bro, we're being handled right now, bro.
We're being handled.
Dude.
He's handling us.
Like you wouldn't believe, bro.
So delicately. I love the way you handle me, John Kai Wallis. I preferred how you handled me when you were John Kai Herbert.
It's a cupping. I cupped both of you at once. I'll see you in LA. Sign some merch.
Oh my God, I love it. Okay, go. Continue.
Sorry, bro. Please finish.
Like, I've got a website, johnkaiwallace.life. Go check it out. Go and find me on Facebook. I've got so much free content on Facebook. You'll have a transformation from my free stuff.
Bro, I love your free stuff on Facebook, man.
Thanks, bro. Thank you. If you want to open your wallet actually and give me some money, you can work with me one-on-one or in group. One-on-one, it's going to start between 4. You're going to start at 4 figures and go to 5. That price is going to go up. You can work with me from like 16 weeks to 12 months. But like, you got to trust your heart. Like, trust your strategy and authority. Don't come at me with fix me and solve me and make me a whole person, John. Start with something simple. Because what pisses me off is that sometimes I need to walk someone back through the human design and gene keys stuff. Like, not so much the gene keys, but the human design. Go get your strategy and authority. Start there. If you don't know where to go, start human design. Then come to me with your strategy and authority, and I can really help you go deep. Otherwise, don't reach out to me. Enjoy my free stuff. Have a good laugh, and comment. Send me messages about, John, you racist. Sure. Whatever.
Thank you for that segue. It's a perfect segue for me to say, if you join the next round, Rise Above the Herd, you get a free one-on-one human design reading to learn your strategy and authority. Okay? In addition to all the other amazing things that you can learn.
Yes, we are not elitist about your ignorance around human design. You are more than welcome to join our program.
I'd be so curious to know if anyone chooses to work with either of us just from this episode alone. You would think they'd be like, hey, listen, I'm going to have a lot of fun working with these guys.
That was a perfect segue, wasn't it? I love
It was.
And that ties in with, like for me, putting other people before me is my life's purpose. Like putting
is it the altruism gene key? Because there is an altruism gene key, isn't there? Yeah,
there is,
right? Yeah.
But it's about me being able to put the spotlight on somebody else and knowing that I don't need to be in the spotlight all the time. It's like, hey, like these guys do great work. Otherwise, for me, my insecurity coming from scarcity, you try and keep the spotlight on yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Well, and also, man, there's there's so many different things you can get from different people at different stages in your life. Like someone could work with you, then work with us, then work with someone else. Like I love championing and like lifting up other people. You know what I mean? There isn't a scarcity. There's enough for all of us.
Learn
To grow, to expand, and like, you know, like people are gonna learn something from you that they can't learn from me, and vice versa, you know? So like that's just how it goes. So
wow, you guys should start like an abundance program together. Like star codes.
We are working on it. You know?
Yeah, $197 $197
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
10-week
No,
program, limited
no.
spaces.
It's 11111.11.
Yeah.
Free chakra alignment.
My
Free
next program's gonna cost 666.
Yeah, free yoni massage.
Oh yeah, definitely free honey massage. Free lingam massage.
This may be the final episode of Here for the Truth.
What's he talking about, bro? This is the next stage. We just said like there's a big shift happening. I think this is like carrying the torch from the previous 183 episodes.
You know in Happy Days jump the shark. Like this is our moment.
Dude,
what?
Pluto is my
what?
They jump the shark.
Jump the shark.
I don't know it.
No,
You know the expression jump the shark,
bro.
Wow, I thought you were like a film connoisseur or something, bro.
Jump the shark. I don't know. I also never watched Happy Days. I just know the theme song.
Happy Days.
Happy Days. And people, yeah.
But dude, like Pluto.
Let me clarify this. The term jumping the shark is an idiom that signifies a moment when a television show or any other endeavor reaches a point of decline, often marked by the introduction of an outlandish or gimmicky element intended to maintain or boost interest. This term originated from a specific scene in the TV series Happy Days, where the character Fonzie, while water skiing, jumps over a shark.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
I didn't know that. Bro, I think this episode is the opposite.
I agree.
Jumping shark.
I do, and for me, like I bring the Pluto, like the energy of like its end. It's bring it to an end, whether it's relationship or something else. Like I know that Pluto's my boo. Like you want death and tower, I'll bring it to your life. But you got to be open to it.
You also got 9 centers defined in human design. I don't even understand what that's like. I got 3, bro.
Dude, I will just override you.
3, 6, 9. 3. Wow.
Oh, bro, Fibonacci.
Damn.
Get down, bro. Get Terrence Howard on next. But actually, podcast.
I haven't watched that.
If you're keen, next podcast I recommend is someone called Josephine McCarthy, and she's deep. She's really gifted in magic, like old school magic. And
is this a guest recommendation to us?
Yeah, guest recommendation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Okay.
And
add it to the list.
Yeah, Josephine McCarthy, and she's got a mouth like a sailor, but she's got a deep respect and reverence for nature. However, she was pro jab, so I don't know how you feel about that.
Bro, I don't give a fuck. Listen,
bro, you're on your camera's off again. You're somehow.
Ah, fuck. I don't care. Like, I don't care about that. Like, this 4 years ago. You know, there are people who are anti-jab are fucking.
Yeah, but let me ask you this:
you
someone
know,
specifically working in a magic and intuitive field who claims to be intuitive, who claims to be
sure. Okay, I get you there. I get you. But I'm just saying. In my initial response to John is that
I agree. Initially, in most circumstances, I no longer give. But
you know,
if you're claiming to be intuitive.
I agree.
I got something else. I got a third piece for this.
I agree with you there.
Yeah.
And it reminds you of the importance of death. Okay. So she went through the polio, her life experience is that she went through the hard deaths of what happened within their part of the world with polio. So vaccines saved them, right?
Supposedly.
And then supposedly, right? Right. Yeah. But that's her embodied belief. Okay. But the importance of what I see when next generation needs to die is that people get attached to the past. And if you're not willing to let go of the past, you're actually more of a hindrance to the future. So living for a long time doesn't actually serve the collective. It's actually not as useful. So embrace death and sign up for
Rise Above the Herd. Bro, listen, man. Come on. Rise Above the Herd, okay?
I think John
come into Friends of the Truth. John's a member now until he's finished with his research and development, and then he'll leave. And then come hang out with us. You know, you want to talk about like lightness and playfulness? I mean, it's not just all depth. It's like we share politically incorrect memes all the time.
It's great. Your chat goes off. Like,
it goes off, bro.
I come back, I'm like, what? Damn, like
Yeah.
I can't. But tag
It's taken
me.
it's taken a whole new level the last, I think, like month or two. I just feel
Yeah,
like it's
bro.
come-
The shift.
It's a
Yeah,
shift.
it's
It's a shift. Shift.
It's all the shifts.
Planetary alignment. It's like a pair of planetary love bees. Just
Yeah. I think we're just ascending. I think we're ascending. That's what's
Well, I
happening.
told you when we were both like going through that crazy like coughing this series like a couple of weeks. Like I
Oh,
told
we
you,
downloaded the light code.
we were downloading light codes, and
I had that
now they're
too, that
integrated.
weird cough. I had
I'm still
some
coughing.
weird- Dude, it's bizarre.
See?
Yeah, it was nuts.
Absolutely bizarre.
Yeah, it was crazy. I like went to a wedding. I went back east, and then I had two weddings that were bookending my time back east with my mom for Greek Easter. And like second wedding I went to, I did something I hadn't done in 20 years, bro. I fucking loaded up on like cough antidepressants and Dayquil just to be able to function at the wedding. Because
Yeah,
I was
wow.
all fucked up. But then I was like, whoa, man, people live on this shit. And at the same time, I was grateful. I was like, thank God for Big Pharma in this moment.
Totally.
I was like, great. Allowed me to be present as best as I could, not cough during these people's most special ceremony.
Thank God for Big Pharma. Wait for those emails, Erasmus.
Yeah.
My bro.
Uh,
Have you had a good time here today, John?
Dude, I've had dude, I always have a great time with you guys. Like, suck some more out of me. Like, tell me. Like, dude,
Whoa, pause.
Whoa, bro.
Pause, bro.
He went from cupping both of us to suck some more out of me.
Where to go, bro? Where to go? It's the kink. Like,
Yeah.
Dude, I had a great time. And I love talking with you guys. We go everywhere, and we keep it real, we keep it
real,
playful.
man.
And we're just like three guys just hanging out. Like, it's
That's great, man.
great.
Three
I
guys,
hope our audience got to this point.
one cupping.
But I need this laugh to get even deeper in my diaphragm. Hold up.
Three guys, one waffle.
Okay.
shit. But this is a nice long episode.
Yeah. Bro, thank you, man. Thank you for the
My
laughs.
pleasure.
Oh. Anyway, how do we end this? Any final words, Erasmus?
My final words
After this
are
episode, don't listen to this.
my final words are have fun. Find the humor, laugh. Don't take things so seriously. Surround yourself with people, man, that honor you and love you and accept you for like the complexity of the type of person that you are. You can go deep with them. You can laugh with them, just like, fuck it, live your life. Do your thing. People are gonna hate, whatever. What was the Babe Ruth quote I posted the other day that I came across? It was like, the loudest boos come from the cheapest seats. You know what I mean? It's fucking a lot of haters out there that aren't doing anything with their life. So fucking dream big, do big things, do little things. Just do awesome things. Live your life. Get your hands dirty in the garden. Laugh. Whatever. That's it. That's how I got to end. That was so deep and profound.
That was the book of Erasmus. That was great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh man, I appreciate you, bro. I really do. I appreciate just like everything you bring to the table, man. I'll still remember the time when we had you as our guest and Friends of the Truth, man. You went around and you were kind of like, just from seeing a person square of their body, you were giving some insight on the types of body work that they should do and or that you recommend they do. And it was really spot on, especially when you said to me that I don't need to do any work because I'm already enlightened. But no, I just appreciate you, man. And the language you speak, we didn't get into it here. We got into it a little bit in the last episode, how important it is to work with the body, to work with the nervous system, to drop in, fuck the ascending. Let's descend back into our bodies, into our emotions, into our heart, into our pain, into our wounding, and like create the capacity to hold that, and to be with that, the myriad of different aspects of ourselves. So, thank you for who you are, man, what you're doing. And it's a really important work. It's holy work.
Yeah. Well said, man. And that video of John can be found exclusively in our membership. Friends of the Truth. Love you, bro, man. So glad we crossed paths and continue to grow and evolve. Everyone else, thanks for listening. Take care. That was an amazing episode. Episodes like that are some of my favorites to converse on and to have fun with, and just flow. And I like also when you get to know a guest a little bit more. They come back second, third time, things get more comfortable, different dynamics express themselves through the conversation as well.
Yeah, you get to know a little bit more about their personality, and also too, just in terms of relational dynamics, it's like different people engage in different ways and connect in different ways. So it's like, yeah, you and I have our thing, and then you bring a third person in. How does that work? And it's like with John, man, we just flow, we laugh, we have similar sense of humor. We don't take life too seriously,
Yeah, no, exactly, man. Exactly. Guys, thank you for coming along for the ride. We so appreciate it. I know we made a lot of banter around coaching and different programs and offers and, throughout that. But in all seriousness, round 10 of Rise Above the Herd is now open for pre-registration. So we're not selling spots to the public yet, but you can pre-register. We're taking a maximum of 15 students. And by pre-registering, you'll be given first priority access to join the program and also unlock other early bird benefits as well. This is now a 10-week program. It's enhanced from the 8 weeks. There's new modules. There's extra calls. And I'm pumped to run Rise Above the Herd again come end of July. So if you're down, head to riseabovetheherd.co, riseabovetheherd.co, or hit the link in the show notes. Much love, everybody.
Smoking mirrors, I'm seeing through the illusion. Waking up in a time, they think you're in a delusion. Somebody set the alarms, cause they be too busy snoozing. I'm in a DeLorean, fast forward in evolution.